Hi everyone, I'm Paul Henczel.
And I'm Jennifer Henczel.
We're the hosts of The Inspiring Show, and today we'll be talking about how to get bookings as a podcast guest or event speaker.
Welcome to The Inspiring Show with Paul and Jennifer Henczel, featuring inspiring interviews with thought leaders, storytellers, entrepreneurs, influencers, and legacy builders just like you. Learn from experts about finding your voice, mastering your mindset, and creating movements with your message. Tap into timeless wisdom and today's top strategies for transcending to new levels of success, happiness, and joy.
Welcome. Thanks for being here, everyone. Today we want to chat with you about how to get your first booking as a podcast guest or event speaker. All the strategies we mentioned today can be used to land podcast guest spots, being featured in summits, and live in-person events. You can use our framework to find, identify, and connect with event and show organizers of all kinds, online and offline. We've both spoken at and recruited for all of the above. In fact, I have personally planned and promoted over 500 events, and it was a constant challenge to find speakers who were prepared and able to meet the requirements. So we know what it means to be a great guest and to choose great guests. Being an expert guest involves more than just knowing your topic or being passionate about an issue. If you want to make maximum impact and have adequate reach, then you'll need to follow the steps we're going to present to you today. Fortunately, we have ample experience to help you through this step by step.
When I first started speaking, I started small and then moved to bigger and bigger events and stages. My first time speaking was for my book launch. From there, I spoke at multiple smaller gigs in front of smaller audiences like meetups. I was also interviewed on various podcasts, radio, local TV, and other online events. One example is when I spoke online to Penn State University. I also filled out lots of speaking applications in the beginning that fit my talk. From there, I was invited to speak at various large international conferences. Starting small was important because it allowed me to get my feet wet and hone my skills, so I didn't become too nervous and anxious. This helped me to gain confidence. I didn't just start out speaking at large international conferences. Starting small gave me the space to learn how to prepare and do research for the places and audiences I was speaking in front of. I learned how to script and memorize my talk at first so I could get more and more comfortable with the content. I learned to customize my talk to fit with the different audiences. I learned how to craft my story in a way that was compelling so I could come across as more personable and relatable. I was able to land more and more speaking gigs because I had a well-crafted story. Then I practiced some more. The real turning point for me was doing my TED Talk. I ramped up my preparation and received valuable coaching. I want to mention that the timeline from my book launch to speaking internationally was only 2 years. I started from being an injured mill worker, knowing nothing about this industry, to now being an international speaker. If I can do it, so can you. I was able to accomplish that because Jen really helped me. Her systems really do work. So let's dive in. Let's first talk about the benefits of being a guest on a podcast. A great way to expand your reach to new audiences and raise awareness to the unique value you have is appearing as a guest on podcasts. Podcasts are increasingly popular today. They offer an excellent way for people to consume content. People can listen as they commute or go about their daily activities. Some listen purely for entertainment. But many people are using podcasts to learn new things and grow personally or professionally.
Being a guest expert is a great strategy to get your name out there. The benefits of being a guest expert include
access to a new audience. You can appear on podcasts that are in your area of expertise and bring new people into your marketing orbit. Build authority. As a guest, you can share your expertise and show people the unique value you have to offer. By appearing regularly on new shows, you can build up a portfolio. An alternative to text and video. If you want to mix up your content marketing a bit, podcasting offers a good opportunity to do so. It's relatively easy. You don't have to start a podcast yourself. You have to get organized and prepare, but it's much simpler than starting your own, and the benefits can be quite significant for the amount of effort needed. Excellent practice. As you appear on more shows, you'll get better at being interviewed and sharing your knowledge with new audiences. Help more people. By extending your reach this way, you can help more people to do even more good in the world.
Ready to get started? It just takes these simple steps. Number 1, learn how to be a great guest. Number 2, identify your goals. Number 3, find your target audience. Number 4, research and find podcasts and events that share your audience. Number 5, make your pitch and get interviewed. Today, we want to show you how to get started doing this. And if you listen through to the end, I'll let you know how you can monetize your interview opportunities as well.
Number 1, let's start with be a great podcast guest or event speaker. Before you start planning and reaching out, it's good to understand what makes a great podcast guest. When you get interviewed, you want to offer the most value possible. In order to do this, there are some basics you need to understand.
Identify your topics. Since you're getting in front of new audiences, you want to make the best impression possible. You want these listeners to see you as a credible expert and start following you elsewhere. To do this, you need to showcase your strengths. The first step is to understand them yourself. Define as specifically as possible your key areas of expertise. These are the things you know a lot about that most people don't. Think of the issues your customers or clients most often seek your help with. What questions do your followers ask? Which of your previous content has been most successful? Think about your audience as well. What are the main issues they're facing, and what problems do they have that you can offer a solution? Brainstorm the things that you can best teach them through a podcast interview. Come up with a unique value proposition that defines your strengths in terms of what you can best teach others through a podcast interview.
What makes a great podcast guest? There are a number of qualities that make a great podcast guest. First of all, you need a good hook. Have a compelling title that appeals to your audience and that the host can use for promotion. Storytelling. Stories reach into the heart of the audience, leaving a deep impact and helping you to be memorable. Your story is what makes you unique. Deep knowledge. Know the topic well so you can answer questions easily on the spot. Be focused. A good guest stays on topic. They might discuss some personal subjects or go on a related tangent, but they always pull it back to the discussion at hand and try to provide value. Be clear. Speak clearly and make things easy to understand for the listener. Be you. Others may present on the same or similar topic, but there's no one else like you. So genuinely reflect who you really are and be authentic in every aspect of your approach. And have fun. A good podcast guest is relaxed and enjoying themselves. Your enthusiasm will be infectious. Remember, entertainment is part of what makes podcasts so popular. Could you check all of the above? If not, there are some areas you may want to improve before your first appearance. Here are some action steps you can take right away. The first one is make a list of your strengths and define your unique value proposition. And then go over the above qualities that make a good guest and see if there are any areas you can improve. And also listen to some podcasts to get some ideas.
Number 2, now let's talk about identifying your goals and why you want to be a guest expert or speaker. You shouldn't go into any new endeavor without clearly defined goals, and a podcast guest appearance is no exception. You need to define your goals so that once you're on the air, you can make the best use of that time towards achieving them. There are many possible goals you might be hoping to achieve through podcast guest appearances. Growing your audience. Your primary aim might be to appear on other podcasts so that you can bring new people into your community. Establishing your credibility. You could use your appearances to establish your expertise in your niche. Start with smaller shows and gradually move your way up. Networking. Appearing on podcasts gives you the chance to meet new people, which can lead to further opportunities. You can join podcaster communities and grow your network. Promoting. You may be appearing on podcasts to talk about a specific product or promotion. For example, your book launch. You might do a virtual book tour that includes podcasts. In this way, you can sell directly through your interviews. Call to action. This is your opportunity to let people know how to connect with you further. Provide a giveaway so that you can have continued interaction with the audience, and it further reinforces your expertise in your topic. Your lead magnet should be directly related to your topic and compelling to listeners. The host will be glad that you're adding value to their community. So your goal should be as specific as possible. With specific goals, you can more easily measure the effectiveness of your efforts. For example, if you want to grow your audience, identify how many new followers you gain on each social media platform or signups to your email list. Here are some action steps you can take right away. Write down your overall business goals and make them as specific as possible. For example, achieve 50 new signups to my email list.
Number 3, find the right audience. Appearing before the right audience is crucial, so you should have a well-defined target audience in mind before you start researching. You'll need to create an avatar, which is a persona of an individual that best matches a member of your ideal audience. Who is the ideal person who would respond to your offer? This is the person you can best help, the one who is craving the expertise you can share. They have a problem that you can solve. Making an individual profile helps you to be as specific as possible about who your ideal audience is. Naturally, others who don't fit this profile exactly will be attracted to you as well. But if you know specifically who to target, you can better identify where and how to do that.
Define your target audience's demographics, such as age range, where they live, income level, gender, where they hang out, and so on. Also define their attitudes, behaviors, and psychology, especially regarding the content they consume and products they buy. This is the person you most want in your audience. You can make some guesses and assumptions here, but it's best to use objective data wherever possible. Look at people who follow you on social media, email list subscribers, current customers, people who comment on your posts, and anyone else who has shown interest in what you offer. You can also conduct surveys. In the case of podcasts, many people listen on the go. They're not sitting and taking notes. This is important for you to know as well because you need to tailor the information you're sharing to match their listening style. Action step: create a profile that defines your ideal listener in terms of demographics and psychological factors. We call this your avatar. Number 4, finding the right podcasts. Now that you know your target audience, it's time to find good podcasts where you can reach them. There are many ways you can search for good shows you can appear on. Go to Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or any of the popular podcast platforms and search using specific keywords related to your niche, your audience, or the problem you want to help solve. Another way to find podcasts is to ask your followers what they listen to. You can use social media to check out your followers and see what they like or comment on. Once you have some leads, you'll need to narrow it down to a selection of podcasts, shows, and event organizers that you want to pitch to.
Now take a minute to listen to each podcast you're considering. In just a few minutes, you can easily assess whether it's appropriate for you or not. Check out whether it's on the right topic. Sometimes it's not easy to tell by just the show's title and description. Look at the number of listeners, but also the engagement. It's more important that the audience is made up of active listeners who are huge fans than the number of subscribers. Even with a small fan base, you'll get a better reaction if they're engaged. A good way to tell whether it's an appropriate and quality podcast with active listeners is to read online reviews. See what people are saying about it, and you can gain insights. If you really enjoy a podcast, leaving a 5-star review of that podcast can go a long way in helping you build goodwill with the host and create opportunities for connection. For your first podcast guest appearance, choose one that's small. You won't get an appearance on a major one in your niche just yet. Start small, and once you've made several appearances, you can start scaling up. Take time to fill out podcast guest applications. Your host needs certain information to see if it's a fit and, if selected, to promote the episode. So here's an action step. Research and find 5 possible podcasts to pitch to. Check out each one and narrow them down to 1. Listen and review them genuinely.
Number 5, putting together your winning pitch. Now create a pitch that you can send to the podcast you want to appear on. Your pitch should emphasize the benefits you offer to podcasters and their audience. Explain how you want to help their audience and focus on what you'll do for them. Frame it in terms of the solutions you can offer. Your pitch should also explain your unique expertise and the strengths you identified earlier. However, the majority of the pitch should be focused on the topic, not on you. Just describe yourself enough that they can understand your expertise. Prepare 3 good topics to pitch. Try to think of unique topics they haven't covered already. Or, if that's not possible, try to think of a unique angle. If possible, offer something timely. If you can tie it into something in the news, a new trend, an upcoming event, or something else that's especially relevant right now, you'll be more likely to get the interview. Curiosity will also help you sell your idea. Try to choose topics that are unusual or surprising. Take an unconventional angle. Imagine a listener seeing the episode title and wanting to know more. Be real when you make your pitch. Be honest about your goals, but make sure the host understands the benefits for them first and foremost. Write out your pitch and make sure it has everything they need to know. Then pare it down so that it's as short and to the point as possible. Okay, here are your action steps. Write a pitch that explains the benefits you offer and briefly explains your expertise. Then send out your pitch to the podcast you chose and don't forget to follow up if you don't receive a reply immediately.
Would you like to have access to Jen's pitch template? Do you want to learn more and get the tools so you can get podcast interviews and speaking gigs? What would it mean for your business if you could get more speaking gigs to connect with more people, grow your audience, and sell more of your programs and products?
Here are 2 opportunities to help you move forward. First, go to the Inspiring Show group, the link is in the show notes, and click on Units in the menu and you'll find 2 posts there. One, if you're looking for podcast guests, and the other, if you're looking to be a guest on podcasts or at summits and even live in-person events. The second thing we want to let you know about is I have a program called Grow Your Business as a Guest Expert. It's all about how to get interviewed on podcasts and booked for speaking gigs for more visibility, leads, and sales. I have templates, email drafts for you to use, and action guides to walk you through step by step. I'll cover things like draft a standout pitch, prepare your podcast interview, how to be a good podcast interviewee, how to follow up with your podcast host, how to have maximum impact on the audience and the host, how to publicize your podcast interview, how to repurpose and polish the opportunity, and much, much more. I also have multiple programs to show you how to monetize your message and get the most out of your guest spots. I have courses on creating your own online courses, setting up your funnel and marketing, creating a client attraction system that works, self-publishing your book, and many other courses and resources to help you turn your expertise into extra income. The Grow Your Business as a Guest Expert alone is valued at $97, but you can join our academy right now for only $17 a month. You'll get access to all my courses, templates, action guides, workbooks, and tools you can download for the one low monthly fee.
We would love to have you in our community. We have lots of connections for you as well. So reach out if you have any questions. So thank you so much for joining us today on The Inspiring Show. And until next time, remember, you have a story and your story matters.